In light of Clarence Thomas, in light of Duke Lacrosse, in light of Ferguson, Trayvon, all these people are wrong so often.
That's Sean Hannity, host of a nationally syndicated radio show, Fox News anchor, likely the president's main source of news, and vape god. Sean Patrick Hannity was born in 1961 in the elite coastal city of New York. He attended a prep high school in Uniondale before attending college at NYU, UC Santa Barbara, and Adelphi University. He never graduated. In 1989, as a young 27-year-old house painter, Hannity landed his first radio gig at UC Santa Barbara's KCSB, but he was quickly removed from the air for saying things like, all gays are AIDS carriers, and gays eat fecal matter, and homosexuals are disgusting people.
Anyone listening to the show that believes homosexuality is just a normal lifestyle has been brainwashed. And you know, it's very dangerous if we start accepting lower and lower forms of behavior as the normal.
When a caller who happened to be a lesbian called in, Hannity said,
"Feel sorry for your child."
Hannity walked back on his comments years later, calling them embarrassing, and said his termination was rightful. But at the time, Hannity didn't just step down without a fight. He reportedly tried to physically force his way back into the studio, but was held back by students and a strategically placed cabinet. After leaving KCSB, Hannity landed back on the airwaves in Alabama, and then eventually to WGST in Atlanta in 1992.
Submerge a crucifix in a jar of urine, certainly that would constitute art, and certainly that would be well worth the investment of the taxpayers of America.
But in 1996, a new cable network was on the rise, a network that just couldn't resist Hannity's takes.
Ruth's sizzling steak.
Hannity was drafted by Fox News in 1996 to host a program under the working title Hannity and LTBD, Liberal to be Determined, a debate show. Alan Combs was the liberal selected, and so it was. Hannity and Combs.
Walks and he says he needs eyeliner.
You know,
what am I in drag here? Come on.
No. With all due respect, you look like $500,000. This guy over here.
$500,000.
Go ahead, give me up.
Look at it. Can you see? Look what he's doing. Can you pan down and look what he's wearing? Look what he's wearing. Come on. I see he's got jeans on.
During Hannity's time in the program, he went off on other ventures like nighttime radio, where he could test material before bringing it to the screen. And he even started his very own dating site, Hannity, where people of like-minded conservative minds can come together to meet. Hannity's Tinder didn't last long, and by 2009, Alan Combs packed up and left Hannity just as alone as the tens of Hannity users who failed to find love on the site. This marked the end of Hannity and Combs. But things were looking up for Hannity, who took over the time slot with his very own show creatively titled Hannity. It was on Hannity that Sean ardently supported Bush during his term and attacked Obama's birth certificate during his.
This is a constitutional requirement. No person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen in the United States at the time of the adoption of the Constitution is eligible to be president.
And in 2012, Hannity went to bat for Romney on his radio program when a caller suggested that Romney's wealth made him unrelatable. When was the last time he went to bed hungry? The caller asked. Hannity argued that poverty and hunger are not related and offered up a recipe his poor friends use.
Friends of mine that eat rice and beans all the time. Beans, protein, rice, inexpensive. It's real, and you can make a big pot of this for a week for relatively negligible amounts of money for your whole family.
Around this time, Hannity was making over $10 million a year, or 12,658,228 servings of rice and beans. And then 2016 came, and with it, the Access Hollywood tape, a tape that had many conservative commenters urging Trump to step down.
You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the do anything.
He defended Trump, saying King David had 500 concubines, for crying out loud. So, when Trump seemed to be drowning, Hannity lifted him up in front of his 3 million viewers, one of whom was definitely Mr. Trump. Hannity was an early supporter of the future president and used his platform of frequent conspiracies to help him get elected. Hannity and Trump reportedly talk after nearly every episode of Hannity, just before they go to bed. When Hannity isn't gabbing with the president, he's making movies. In 2017, he executive produced Let There Be Light, a movie that won Best Picture at the famous Canadian International Faith and Family Film Festival.
Are you guys ready for the amount of heat that'll be coming your way with this?
But Best Picture at some obscure film festival focused on faith and family in Canada wasn't the only thing Hannity had been trying for years to win. Ever since his buddy was elected president, Hannity has started peddling conspiracy theories and just about anything that would fall in line with his base to try and win over the ballot box. He pushed the theory that there's a deep state, an idea that there are government agents trying to sabotage Trump and remove him from office. This is one of Alex Jones's firm beliefs, but Hannity is taking the idea to the masses, popularizing the kind of dangerous thoughts that lead to violence and extremism.
Often people say, man, Sean Hannity is copying you almost every night word for word. I'm like, let's not make a big deal out of that.
But unlike Alex Jones, who uses conspiracy theories to sell bogus dietary supplements and DVDs on survival, Hannity uses his conspiracy methods to distract viewers from focusing too much on issues that are damaging to Trump's character. He's claimed the former DNC staffer, Seth Rich, was murdered by the DNC after giving emails to WikiLeaks. Fox News retracted the claim, and Hannity went on an abrupt vacation. And when Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore was accused of initiating sexual contact with teenagers, one of whom was 14, Hannity went on his radio program when asked, "How do you possibly tell?" On the same show, Hannity's executive producer argued that some of the allegations were consensual. Consensual? That's true, Hannity replied. Hours later, after taking endless amounts of heat on Twitter, Hannity explained he had not been referring to the 14-year-old, who would have been too young to give consent. And he hopped over to his Fox News program and prompted his panel with questions like, "Are there times when people make false accusations?" And "Are there times when people lie for political purposes?" The segment made advertisers start pulling their ads from his program. Hannity's fans got mad too. Not at his cloying attempts to cover for Roy Moore, but with Keurig, the coffee machine with those little pods, for pulling its ads from Hannity's show. Fans of Hannity posted videos of them smashing their coffee machines online, and Hannity himself offered prizes for the best video footage. And then Hannity, while reporting the news fair and balanced, became the news himself in the midst of the federal investigation of Michael Cohen, Trump's personal lawyer. The investigation revealed that Hannity was the infamous unnamed third client.
I have occasionally had brief discussions with him about legal questions about which I wanted his input and perspective.
Hannity said his work with Cohen was strictly limited to real estate affairs.
Michael Cohen, and you're one of my better friends in life.
The Guardian reports that those affairs involve over 870 homes owned by Hannity, purchased through shell companies that spent nearly $90 million over the past decade, with help from loans provided by Ben Carson's Department of Housing and Urban Development.
You're a good man. I wish you all the best in what you're doing. You got to come see us. He doesn't even take my calls anymore. He becomes a HUD secretary. That's it. Hannity's out.
Talk to my people.
Hannity, who reportedly makes $36 million annually while complaining about overpaid mainstream media elites, has a viewership of 3.3 million Americans, including the one with all the nukes, taking what he says as truth. And Sean is living for it!